this SA Tourism Gimme Summer That campaign that's really just to promote local tourism and traveling locally. The event's running an hour late and it's been a bit of a interesting one, but I'm excited. I'm getting in the zone. I love the setup of the venue. Very clever concept. I'm gonna look for Magwenya. So yeah, that's what's up. Of course, driving domestic and local tourism specifically, because it's not just about the fancy cities. We're also looking at the villages, the towns, the dorpi, the plazi, across all 9 provinces, and this is in partnership with all 9 provinces as SA Tourism. So it's important to be creating that visibility of tourism for majority of South Africans to travel the country. And guys, if we're serious, we all know somebody who has never left Soweto. I get it. We all know somebody, right? Or somebody who's never left Pretoria. And traveling is actually not that difficult and not as expensive as we think it is. So it's all about celebrating the resilience of the tourism sector, which is a big part of our economy, and supporting local SMMEs and inviting locals to explore and experience their own country that is Mzansi. To all of the ambassadors that are sitting here, we've got Botswana, Nepal, Mauritius. So in South Africa, there's this thing, there's a month called December. It's the 12th month of the year. But there's a thing, it's a lifestyle, and it's called December. Have you been told about this? Because I'm very honorable, Lindiwe Sisulu, you're supposed to brief the ambassadors. December is a lifestyle. Ne? And they're in this country when we're in the middle of December. And what happens in December, because I think you need a baptism of South African December, is that suddenly work slows down. Your boss asks for that email and you tell him yes, but you just don't send it. You know, your boss is like, you said you're working from home, but you're not at your email. You say, I'll come, and then you don't come. That's December in South Africa. Things slow down, things chill out, except for this particular sector that is tourism. South Africa truly comes alive in that time. So on that note, I'd love to introduce, to share a little bit more about this campaign, Acting Chief Executive Officer for South African Tourism, Mr. Themba Khumalo, for the official welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Come on, you can do much better than that. Good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful evening. It's a beautiful time to be alive in South Africa. Allow me, Honorable Minister, my bosses, the board members of South African Tourism, to stand on the protocol that has already been established so that the evening may be shortened into the fun portion of the evening. I stand on that protocol. It is a privilege to be alive at this time in South Africa. It is a privilege to have survived COVID. It is a privilege that at this point in time, we can be part of all of these images that we just saw being played. It is a privilege to work for South African tourism and to work in the tourism sector, a sector that means so much to our people, a sector that feeds our very soul. It is a privilege just to be here tonight, to share fellowship with one another. About this time last year, we could not do so. But this time we can. And just for that, please put your hands together for the fact that you're still alive today. Come on, you don't sound like you're alive. Rejoice that you're still alive today and that we can enjoy like this. My assignment tonight is very short. It is to introduce my boss, the chairperson of the board of South African Tourism, Dr. Mapazi to introduce the Minister.
Evening, everyone. I'm going to follow what the acting CEO has done to say protocol has been observed. I had to consult when we are introducing somebody of the caliber of the minister I'm bringing to you this evening. I had to first consult to say, what is it I must say? What is it that I must not say in this platform? I'm bringing to you Minister Lindiwe Nongceba Sisulu. She's an honorable member. She's been a member of parliament ever since democracy. She has worked in many different departments. She has made her mark in many lives of people in this country. But, you know, she has brought a boom, a different feel when it comes to tourism in South Africa. Ever since her appointment as the minister of this department, there's a light, a different light. The light has been there, but there's a different light that she has brought to this department. Without saying many things before spoiling her speech, I want to hand over to call the minister to the podium because we said tonight is for us to celebrate the launch. It's not about speeches that we are going to make. Minister, the platform is yours.
I'd like to indicate to you at the outset that we're going to be joined today by the various boards from the provinces. We have 9 provinces and all of them will be joining us. And I am not sure whether they're joining us now or whether they're joining us behind the scenes, but we would like to recognize them and thank them very much for being part of this. We arranged this to be together so that we can launch the aftermath of this terrible, terrible COVID that we've been through. I'd like to recognize first the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Fish Mahlalela. I don't know why he's called Fish, but he always disappears like a fish in water. I'm hoping that today he is here. I'd like to recognize honorable members of the Portfolio Committee and the Select Committee on Tourism, the chairperson of the South African Tourism Board, members, as I've indicated, of TBCSA boards and councils of South Africa, the Acting Director General, Ms. Anime. Anime, are you anywhere where you can raise your hand? Just before I take away that DG post, the Acting DG of Tourism, industry leaders who are here, and the entire supply chain of tourism, valued guests. And amongst the most valued guests that we have here are our ambassadors. Thank you so much to our ambassadors for being with us and sharing with us this very important day where we celebrate a post-COVID South Africa. I know we can't compete with Mauritius, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And thank you for being with us here. It's a distinct honor and a privilege for all of us to be here today to celebrate a time which we had never imagined would come. When it was at its darkest, COVID was overwhelming. We gathered here as a collective to celebrate the collective efforts and the strong spirit that all of us have had to go through in the past year following this very devastating pandemic that we've been through. I'm glad that we as a sector pulled together and we survived, because we are survivors. Now we are poised for an unparalleled growth. South Africa's tourism has rebounded post-COVID restrictions and lockdown and is now on an unstoppable trajectory. after the 2022 October tourism performance, which showed an upward trajectory for both domestic numbers and international arrivals. I'm happy that 2022 looks much better than we had ever had before, and I remain very optimistic that even after the numbers and the improvements next year, we will grow from strength to strength. I'm pleased that cumulative arrivals from January to October amounted to 4 million people walking on two legs. That is incredible. Beyond that, land arrivals accounted for the most significant number of 3.2 million. And these are legal arrivals, by the way. Very legal arrivals. 3.2 million arrivals, followed by a slightly above 600,000 arrivals from the Americas. Our Africa air markets had a healthy increase of 132%, and that requires a cheer from you. Over the past months, 2022 has performed better than 2021, obviously. And according to Oxford's Economics' latest estimations, it is predicted that South Africa will reach 2019 levels in 2026. That's what they predict. But I can tell you, as I went through the statistics here, I am certain that next year we will exceed what it is that has been predicted. On the domestic side, we are cruising. On the domestic side, we are doing very well, and a cheer for that. Domestic overnight trips from January to September 2022 reached 23.9 million trips. Incredible. 138% increase when compared to the same period in 2021. Clearly, domestic tourism consumption is following the revenge travel phenomenon, showing that South Africans are traveling to compensate for the time lost. We also know that our team has done a stellar job in promoting domestic travel in a manner that appeals and resonates with the market. And I'm very grateful to all of you who put their efforts together on this.
Applause indeed for the Minister of Style, Tourism, Honorable Lindiwe Sisulu. Am I lying? Is she not the most stylish minister that we have? Minister, all the naysayers, like what you were saying, that they were saying, Bauken's got tourism, and every day, no live stylish. Borders are closed, stylish. Province lines closed, stylish. You just kept it going, and you are still here. But to pick up on the note of all the things that you said, I think it's so important for us. Sometimes numbers and figures being announced, this much billion, we actually cannot quantify, but the impacts that we see are in the small businesses, right? The mama who decides to come out in December and have her little kitchen or her little food truck, that's where we see it. So yes, we can belt numbers and statistics, but the reality is the impact that it has on the everyday South African, of which they are our family, Nakitwa Limpopo. And we know Limpopo, we are famous for certain things. So when we go home, December, you remember the term, ambassadors? December, ne? So you're going to Limpopo like this, because it's December, not December. And people will always say, Diga di avocado, where are the mangoes? Akai masonja, because Limpopo is known for certain things. And they're those provinces that are known for certain things. And that is the beauty of our countries, that many of us that are living in Gauteng are not from here. So the traveling home and the traveling the country is so critical for all of those small businesses that get to benefit. So if you didn't hear the billions and you don't know how many zeros, it's okay. What you do get to see is the upliftment of the communities that we come from, which for me is so important. So what I'd like to do, ladies and gentlemen, right now, because we need to officially open up and activate summer, I'd like to invite the acting CEO to officiate the bell ringing ceremony, Tema Kumalo. Because this is the moment. We don't just in South Africa and just say it's open. We need to have a whole moment for this. Okay, yo, guys. We are wrapped. I don't even know what time it is. There's a local market, and I wish I had had the chance to just go and see all the stalls because people are just doing amazing handmade things. So I'm going to find out from the client, you know, the whole directory of everybody. Excuse me, I'm burping tonic alone. Anyways, so we're going to pack up, and the show went great. I think it went great. The rehearsing never goes according to plan, ever. But I still killed it, and I was so happy. I saw DJ Kenzero. One of the ambassadors gave me his number so that I can go visit their country. But we're not here about that. We're here for local tourism. So make sure you go and experience every single province, guys. Like, I'm really passionate about it, having grown up in a family where we were taken everywhere. Like, I think we took for granted. You just assume everybody gets to go everywhere, and they don't. Some people have not even left their township in their lives. So even if it's just to go out and explore, it doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be glamorous. I learned about something called couch surfing. Go couch surf. Go couch surf, but be safe, and just go and explore a country. I had so much fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying following me around on these gigs where, yeah, it's a lot. Let me go home and be a mommy.